Your Dreamcast has a reputation, not your Dreamcast specifically, but the Dreamcast in general. Them exclusive title games, the Giga fan exclaims, were so much better than anything else ever. Problem is, a lot of talk about Dreamcast exclusives isn't talk about things that remained exclusive, if you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean is, touted Dreamcast exclusives quite often appeared previously in the arcade or later on other consoles, handhelds, or the PC, thus making them not exclusive. With that nugget of doom in mind, I decided to put together this definitive list of Dreamcast exclusives that are, as I always like to say, really great-like. These are games that only appeared on the Dreamcast and never on any other format, including the arcade, at least at the time of making this video. Oh, and so you know, Seaman isn't on this list because it had a sort of remake/re-release on PS2 in Japan. Facts! Metropolis Street Racer has so many touches, from the almost region-specific radio stations and the tweakable time limits for each race letting you set your own level, through to the time of day being accurate to your current time and where the race takes place in the world. As long as your internal battery hasn't run out, that is. MSR is the game that's always brought up when talking about Dreamcast exclusives, and with good cause. It's still a very good game. I'm not being medically foolish, I do maintain the Project Gotham series, what Metropolis Street Racer morphed into, is the better set of games. But there's a huge place in my heart for the original MSR, thanks to the fact that it's both great fun to play and that it's got adverts for Tango in it. What more do you need? 2 games, 1 entry, deal with it. These 2 flight sims both belong here and both feature a different approach that keeps each fresh. The first AEROWINGS is more about learning the ropes and figuring out how to do show-style flying through rings in formation and so on. The sequel brings in combat while still keeping it on the side of teaching you the ropes. It's no grand story of world domination, just a bunch of lessons and challenges to play through, this time around with guns. I'm genuinely surprised how much fun I've had with both the AEROWINGS, with each offering a solid flight simulation, for a console at least, and more than enough challenge to keep me trying. When that instructor told me my landing was so-so, I almost cried? There's some emotional impact for you. If you've ever played a game in the Legend of Zelda series and thought this could use more egg-shaped robots with the ability to spin wildly into anything around them, then here you go! It's not even remotely accidental, the game is called Egg. You're a dude who's been asleep for ages, there's egg robots, exploration puzzles, it has a lovely art style, outside the boss fights at least. Yeah, I'd go with this one being a bit of an overlooked gem, to be honest. It never released in Europe, just Japan and the States, so it can be a bit pricey to bring it over to this part of the world, but hey, it is Dreamcast only and good, and that's the criteria of this video. I don't know how to end this entry. Naturally, I hadn't even heard of this SNK Japanese-only release because I'm not as cool as those of you in the comments who'll tell me that you knew all about it for ages, but what a pleasant surprise. Absolutely Japanese, so I've got no idea what's happening, but it's basically Gitaroo Man on Dreamcast with dancing instead of strumming, and what's not to like there? This one went from thing I knew nothing about to happily sitting alongside Gitaroo Man, Buster Move, Jamalami and Parappa the Rapper as one of those things I'll dream wistfully of, will want to play often, and will never get around to. Regardless of my laziness and inability to actually just sit down with something and play it, Cool TOON is still brilliant fun. ARMADA is Diablo in space, almost, and for that you should be all over it. Up to 4 players can band together to hurtle through the galaxy, picking up random little quests with random big ships, fighting off constant ever-encroaching waves of enemies. It's a mite overwhelming, especially when you play alone like I had to because I have no friends, also I only have 1 Dreamcast pad. But there's a great mix of arcade action and RPG depth to ARMADA that you might not expect. This is the kind of game I could really get on board with a modern day reimagining of. A few nips and tweaks, online play, less irritating voiceovers, and you've got yourself something to keep you company for months, years even. Space Diablo, get on it, Blizzard. I really love the imagination at play with Toy Commander. It's like a 3D Micro Machines without any Micro Machines. Also, it isn't racing. Look, it's got toys in it and it takes place inside rooms in a house, so it's basically Micro Machines. You do missions like boiling eggs and hijacking convoys, you have all manner of different vehicles, and best of all, it employs toy logic. So your car can drive on the wall if you want, because that's what toy cars do. Toy Commander only remained a Dreamcast exclusive because its developer closed down before the PC version could be released, but that still counts. It still counts, alright? At the same time, it is a genuine shame this never earned a broader audience through the PC. We could have been onto something here. Oh well. Hundreds of wrestlers and MMA stars, fledgling downloadable content like movesets and created wrestlers, one of the most natural, proper approaches to match pacing and psychology I've ever seen in a wrestling game. Yeah, Fire Pro Wrestling D is glorious. This is what the Fire Pro series subsequently tried to be again and again over the years until the release of Fire Pro Wrestling World last year, and it's utterly bizarre that D only came out on Dreamcast and only released in Japan. It's so good it hurts. The best thing for me about Fire Pro Wrestling D, most of the Fire Pro games come to think of it, is that I can actually watch matches with the computer fighting itself and enjoy them, which is exactly what I did for this footage because holy heck am I bad at Fire Pro. You might have written this one off, as I did, thanks to the fact it's an off-road racer and back in the 90s and noughties they were meh. And yet, Four Wheel Thunder is great fun, a mix of said off-road action with a sprinkling of burnout on top thanks to the careful constant use of boosting required to be any success at all. I'm not good at boosting, so I was not any success at all. Four Wheel Thunder is good, but also really hard. I did almost include Daytona 2001 on this list, but it just didn't resonate with me the same way Four Wheel Thunder did, even if I am, one more time with feeling, terrible at Four Wheel Thunder. I've included Napple Tales not because it's the best of the best or that it shocks me to the core how a niche 2.5D platformer released only in Japan is so unknown, but because it's just surprisingly good. I wouldn't put it up there with the best platformer ever made, Rayman Legends, but Napple Tales does a surprisingly good job of being a really great game. Admittedly, I have no idea what's going on in it thanks to the language barrier, but there's no translation needed for fun, bright colours and a generally joyful feeling throughout, though I do hope all the people and creatures who were talking to me weren't just swearing. Any Japanese speakers out there, feel free to translate for me. Oh, and the mayor of Nappletown is called Frokar, he's half frog, half car. Who remembers Consolvania's Shenmue drinking game, taking a sup every time main character Ryo says, "I see"? Well, yeah, don't do that because you'll end up with alcohol poisoning within the hour. Anyway, you already know Shenmue, seeing as it's the Dreamcast's most famous game. It also somehow, for some reason, never saw release on any other format, with the sequel on Xbox just having a previously in Sailors and Forklift Truck Racing video. That actually helps make the original all the more special, a much-loved proper exclusive that, how to politely say it, has begun to show its age. I mean, it's great and engrossing and atmospheric and absorbing, it brought QTEs to the masses, influenced the superb Yakuza series and let you play Hang On. But good god, that voice acting. Shenmue, you're great, just stop saying, "I see." And that's a list. Thanks for watching, please like, share, subscribe, misunderstand that this list is Dreamcast only games, ask where Soul Calibur is, realise your mistake and buy a Dreamcast as penance. It makes sense. Also, I do have a Patreon, which you can find the link to below if you enjoyed this video and / all the other videos I've done, and if you can afford a bit of change, every dollar counts and all that, it would be beyond brilliant if you wanted to support me. If you can't, or if you just don't want to, that's obviously fine. I still worship the ground on which you walk. Speaking of worship, here's a bunch of people whose feet I should probably kiss thanks to their support. And obviously a massive thanks to those contributing on the higher tiers, whose support means I don't have to be homeless just yet. Video Brains, or Jake Tucker, Robbie Sabo, Lola Osman. Every one of my Patreons I love like a slightly wonky puppy, especially the one who's a dog, and I bloody love wonky puppies. Thanks for your continued support, I appreciate it always. Bye!